Coming up on Michigan Replay, the 2004 season is a week away. We'll take a close look at the Wolverines who will carry the maize and blue into the new year. We'll also re-meet Mike DeBoard, back in Ann Arbor with 2 new job descriptions. And we'll look ahead and scout Miami of Ohio, the Wolverines' opening game opponent. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Chevrolet, turn a key and start a revolution at your Detroit area Chevy dealer. And by State Farm, providing insurance and financial services.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. We're ready for the season 2004. I'm Jim Brandstatter, back for, it's my 25th year.
You're getting old, Jim.
I know, I'm getting really old. And this is Lloyd Carr, the head coach of Michigan. 10th year as the head coach, but you've been here since '80.
Well, it's great to be back for another year, isn't it?
Yep, and I want to get the amenities out of the way first. Go ahead, call me the biggest ducker in the history of duckers, because
Jim,
I didn't play you in golf this summer.
You know, you beat me a year ago, but I couldn't find you this summer. I left messages. You know, if Jack Nicklaus were like you, you'd only won one tournament.
Hey.
Because he would have quit as soon as he won his
I'm the
first tournament.
smartest guy in the world. Now, see, I can say I got a legitimate 2-year winning streak over you.
Well, if you can take pride in avoiding a competitive golf match.
I knew I was going to get that from you. Okay, golf's over with. The amenities are out of the way. We're in fine form. You're ripping me already.
We're ready to go, Jim.
This season, 2004, a lot of high expectations, as there always are for Michigan. But this year, even though you lose a quarterback and a running back, people are talking about you as the Big Ten possible champions again.
Well, Jim, you know, you got to do it on the field. And we don't shrink from wanting a great challenge, wanting to be an outstanding football team, and we've worked hard. These kids have really, they've had the longest training camp in the history of Michigan football because of the extra week the NCAA allowed us, and they've done a great job with it.
One of the things you always say before every year, and I think it's true, that each team develops its own personality. You like this team, don't you? You like their character. You like the kind of kids you got playing.
Yes, we've recruited outstanding people, and I think from an experience standpoint, from an athletic standpoint, we have very good skill. We're going to be much better, I think, on defense, and we're going to run the football, and hopefully our special teams are going to be much improved, and I think they will be. You
better run the football or you'll have me to answer to.
Well, Jim, anytime you break in a young quarterback, if you remember when John Navarre was a sophomore getting his first starting position, we didn't run the football very well, and that put a lot more pressure on him. We're obviously got a new quarterback this year, so we've got to be able to run the football to help them.
All right, let's take a look at the defensive players coming back, and you've got a bunch of good ones. Pat Massey up front is going to be one of the guys that makes a difference.
I think Pat Massey is one of the most improved football players on our team, Jim. He's 6'7". He's worked hard in the off season. He's much stronger, has made a lot of plays this fall.
And a guy you know that's going to have to make plays for you, Lamar Woodley.
Well, Lamar's one of the most talented athletes we've ever had here, contributed as a freshman, and we're expecting him to start to play like the great player we think he's capable of being.
And you really like both of your inside linebackers, don't you?
Well, I think Lawrence Reed and Scott McClintock are an outstanding pair. They both started a year ago. They both bring a lot of experience and knowledge to that position.
And that's what you need from inside backers, because they're the quarterbacks on defense.
Well, they can both run. They're not the biggest guys, but they're guys that are very good against the run and athletic enough to play the coverages we ask him to play.
And Pierre Woods is a guy that just seems to get better and better.
Well, Pierre has been a great special teams player here. He had a good year a year ago. He's been bothered a little bit by some nagging injuries this fall, but we're expecting Pierre to be an outstanding leader on this team.
And Marlon Jackson, a captain, goes back to corner from safety, and he's a bookend on the other side with Marcus Curry.
Well, I think the fact that his teammates selected him as one of our captains, along with David Boss, will tell you the respect they have for him. I think the fact that he played safety a year ago will tell you what kind of team guy he is, and we're expecting him to be a great player.
And you talk about Marcus being underrated.
I think Marcus Curry is an underrated football player, and I think when you look back at his career here, he's had some great games. He's capable of being one of the better corners in the country.
And you say Ernest Shazor is ready for a breakout year.
Well, I think Ernest Shazor has an opportunity, if he plays to his abilities, has a chance to be one of the best safeties we've had, Jim.
And in the punting game, I thought the end of last year, Adam Finley was as good as you could have asked for.
He was outstanding the last half of the season when we got our protections straightened around. He's a very smart guy. He can put the ball in the corner at times when we need to kick the ball out of bounds, but he's really a solid punter, and we're expecting him to be among the best in the country.
One of the things we always talk about are true freshmen that come in and may have an impact. On defense, I keep hearing the name Jamison. Is there anybody else besides him, or am I making a mistake there?
Well, I think there are two guys, Tim Jamison, Chris Graham, both linebackers. Tim Jamison, outside linebacker, will factor in some in our nickel pass rush. He's a great athlete. Chris Graham is going to help us, as will Tim, on special teams. So I would think both those kids you'll want to keep an eye out for.
And you expect this defense to be good, better than a year ago?
Well, Jim, I think with our front, we lost 3 starters in there, but Gabe Watson has had a sensational fall and a guy that makes a difference in the middle of the field for us.
He is a big one. He and Larry Harrison are going to do a good job up front. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll take a look at the offensive players returning. But first, we talked to Michigan's recently elected captains for 2004.
It means a lot, you know, especially, you know, because your teammates vote for you. So it means a lot, you know, to have everybody on the team, you know, come together and see me as a leader on the team and want me to be captain.
Everybody speaks through the way they play. I think that, you know, some guys need to be more vocal. Some guys just need to prove themselves on the field, and I speak through example on the field.
Michigan Replay takes you inside the locker room.
I've been enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. You know, a lot of good players here at Michigan, and there's competition all over the field every day, and it's really enjoyable. It brings the best out of each of us.
Coming into the program, you know that's something that you're going to have to deal with, and when you come in, you look forward to it, to be able to compete and play with some of the best quarterbacks out there, and we're getting that opportunity here.
It's very hard. I mean, just coming into this program with great tradition, winning tradition, and at the quarterback position, there's a lot of pressure on, and just have to come out here and perform and hopefully just pick up things real quick.
Now, you saw the 3 guys vying for the quarterback job in an order, but that's not necessarily the order. We don't want to create any more problems with who's going to be the quarterback, and we'll deal with that later.
Good.
You've got an offense, though, that has to replace a quarterback and a running back, and 2 pretty darn good ones. You've got guys that are ready to fill in, don't you?
Well, Jim, I don't think you replace a Chris Perry. The experience of a guy like John Navarre, those are things that the people around them have to play better than they did a year ago. And you have to have some adjustment time for the young players, but we're excited about the guys we have here.
And one of the things you talked earlier, that the running game was going to be important, especially with a young quarterback. And coming back, you've got a solid offensive line, and you're led by one of your co-captains, David Bonds.
Well, there isn't any question that it begins up front with protecting the quarterback and opening some holes. And David Boss is, you know, a great football player, a great leader, a guy that you know, has got a great future in this game. But he loves Michigan, and he's done a tremendous job this training camp keeping our team focused on our goals.
And out at tackle, you've got a guy who's seen a lot of time, Adam Stenovich.
Adam Stenovich started every game a year ago at left tackle. He's a guy that has worked extremely hard to get better. I think he's a much better player today than he was when our season ended.
And up front at guard, opposite Boss, you've got Matt Lentz, and you say he's maybe underrated as a group.
Well, I think Matt Lentz is one of the more underrated football players on our team. He's a guy that has great consistency, great work ethic, and a guy that, because of David has gotten a lot of the publicity, Matt has not gotten his share, but he's a guy that is just an outstanding football player.
At tight end, you've got Tim Massaquoi and Tyler Ecker battling, don't you?
Well, they're both guys that are very talented, athletic, both guys that are improved their strength. If you remember, Massaquoi moved from wide receiver, so our tight end position is solid.
And Braylon Edwards, tell us the story. He is the strongest wide receiver ever now in Michigan.
He broke all the records from a weightlifting standpoint, Jim. He's a guy that, you know, he's going to play with or without the football.
And he's ready, isn't he, this year?
Well, he's worked hard. I think he's faster than he was, and I think he's really motivated to do some things that he's capable to do that he hasn't done yet.
And Jason Avon is just money on third downs. He's just a great player.
Well, I think he's one of the greatest competitors I've ever been around, and he makes everybody on his football team better because of the way he competes.
And if you need a block, Kevin Dudley will get it done, won't he?
Well, Dudley, you know, a year ago we were replacing B.J. Askew. We thought we were really going to have some problems there. Kevin is a converted tailback when he came here out of high school, and just had a remarkable year. He's as tough as they come.
And maybe one of the most exciting players on this team, Steve Breston, as a receiver and a return guy.
Well, Steve has worked in the weight room. He's stronger, a little bit bigger than he was a year ago, and he's just one of those special guys, Jim, that can, he's a big play anytime he touches the ball, a possibility.
And your kicking game, which was a difficulty last year, we already talked about Adam Finley, but Garrett Rivas is a guy that's going to handle the place kicking chores, and he's coming to his own.
Well, Garrett won that place kicking job early in the season and had very good statistics, very consistent, and I think he's improved his the length of his kicks this fall.
All right.
Troy Nienberg will do the kickoffs, and Troy did a wonderful job a year ago.
Okay, same question I asked after the defense. How about on the offensive side of the ball? Any true freshmen, folks going to the game are going to be maybe see in the mix, true freshmen?
Well, I think Adrian Arrington will get a shot at wide receiver. We'll rotate a lot of guys in there, and Adrian has really had a wonderful fall camp. And I think Michael Hart and possibly Max Martin, but Michael Hart has really been impressive this
running
fall.
Back.
The running back from Syracuse, New York.
Okay. Inquiring minds want to know. You got three guys vying for the quarterback job. You going to tell me?
Jim, if I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Oh my God! It's the state secret.
No,
it's CIA stuff.
You know
huh?
something? There isn't a secret, because this competition, truthfully, is as even as it can be. We're just going to have to see how it goes here in a couple of days of practice. But Chad Henne has really had a great fall. Yeah. He is right there. And I think the competition has made them all better. We're just going to have to make a decision here at some point.
Now, are you going to announce like Monday or Saturday before the game? You going to tell me that?
Well, I'm hoping to do it Monday, but don't hold me to that, Jim.
It's tough pulling anything out of him, isn't it? All right, when we come back, we'll meet Mike DeBoard. He's back at Michigan, but first we hear from running back David Underwood. He talks about this big opportunity this year for him.
You just got to be ready when your number's called. You know, unfortunately, for me, I wasn't, planning on having to wait 3 years, coming from Madisonville, after me starting ever since, I've been playing football there. But, it's different everywhere you go, and sometimes you come in and you have to be ready to play as a freshman. Sometimes, you have to come in and be ready to play sparingly. Sometimes you have to wait 3 or 4 years, sometimes your senior year till you get ready to play. And you just have to be ready, anybody just have to be ready when your number's called.
Who says you can't go home again? Mike DeBoard is back at Michigan for the second time as an assistant coach. In 1997, he was the offensive coordinator of the national champions. After a stint as head coach at Central Michigan, Mike returns to Ann Arbor as the special teams coordinator and recruiting coordinator. In his capacity as recruiting coordinator, Mike says he's got a lot to work with to find the right kind of young man.
We have such a great tool with the University of Michigan, academically as well as football. There's 2 awesome programs there, and yet we've got to get the right fit of a student athlete to come in here. It starts with character. We're not going to recruit anybody that doesn't have great character, and that's the one thing that our coaches do a great job of, is going out and really studying players' character. And then the next thing is academically. We want guys who are going to be here 4 or 5 years and graduate. And then the third part of it is athletic ability. Some people think it's flipped the other way, but it's not, and that's the way we look at it.
The story on special teams is very similar. He's got great kids to work with, which makes DeBoard's job easier.
I love working with the punters, Adam Finley and Mark Spencer, two great people, and they're guys that you can talk to, and I mean, they're really into punting now. I mean, when Adam Finley punts a football, he can tell you everything that was right or wrong on that one punt, and so they're into that part of it. It's interesting that you can pick up little pointers here or there from them that they kind of do individually.
DeBoard loves coaching special teams, and he's committed to making these units better. He's not the kind of guy who will just stand pat.
I looked at all the schemes, and then I also went and talked to a lot of people professionally and got some things that way. And so when I came back, there were a couple of things I kept the same and some things I changed. So I just went out and got some resources to maybe some things that might help us a little bit. And so when we came back, Lloyd and I talked about it, and I met with the coaches on it, and we've installed a few new wrinkles.
There is a lot that goes into making the special team special. If you think giving the ball to Steve Breston and telling him to go is the answer, you'd be wrong.
No, I don't think you toss him the ball and say go. I think there's a little more to that. I wish it was that easy, but really on returns, we work a lot of different parts of it. The first one is actual get off at the line of scrimmage, where we really try to hold them up at the line of scrimmage. And then getting into a trail technique that we have to teach, where we're getting on their hip. And then the third part of it is making a decision when to turn and really climb a guy and block a guy up the field is all really, I think, a science. And so it's not just handing the ball back there to Breston or punting the ball to Breston and letting him go. I wish it was that easy, but when we block, it looks that easy.
For us in the stands, it looks that easy, but it's not. And it's good to have Mike back. And the thing I wanted to point out, he's got experience as a special teams coach. I mean, he's done this before. It's not just a guy coming in because he isn't coaching at Central anymore.
Well, absolutely. He always had a role in special teams when he was at Michigan before. He certainly had a role as the head coach at Central. And so he brings not only knowledge of special teams, he brings a passion and an energy. And we're just happy to have him back because DeBoard is a special guy and a great football coach. Plus,
he can talk to Lloyd and get away with it sometimes. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll scout Miami of Ohio. But first, we hear from Ernest Shazor, who talks about how the new seniors must now step up.
It's your time to take on more responsibility. As you get older, that's what Coach Carr expects out of you, as a leader on this team and as a senior, he expects you to take a bigger role. That's all.
Michigan Replay takes you inside the locker room.
One thing about our schedule is you can't take anybody lightly. Teams that do, they often get beat. Miami of Ohio is a great team, so we want to come out here and prepare the best that we know how, watch the film, study them as a team, and come out here on September 4th and play our best game.
Well, Braylon's right about that. I want to tell all of you, and I know that Lloyd's going to back me up on it. Miami of Ohio is an opener. This is a tough game. This is one of the top 20 teams in the country, don't you think?
No, there's no question about it, Jim. And they have a game ahead of us on the schedule, so they'll have a chance to get some of their young players the experience of playing, and they'll come in here fired up.
And they're good. Terry Hepner's done a great job down there. He loses Ben Roethlisberger, number 7 there, who's a big-time player, but Josh Betts will be his quarterback.
Well, Terry is an outstanding football coach. Came up through the ranks, paid his dues, and is having wonderful success. And Josh Betts, you can just tell the way Terry talks about him. He has wonderful confidence in him. He's 6'3", 225 pounds, and a guy that can run and throw the football.
Mike Smith will be their tailback. This is a guy that got 802 yards a year ago, but they've got another guy you like.
Jim, Luke Clemens gained over 1,000 yards 2 years ago, missed last season, and he's back. So they've got two guys that they have great confidence in.
And two great receivers, Martin Nance and Mike Larkin. These guys can catch.
Well, Nance is 6'5", 210 pounds. And, of course, Larkin is a guy that has great speed. They think, from a passing standpoint, they're not going to miss a beat.
And on defense, Ternan Nande is an outside linebacker. John Bussing is a outside backer. And Matt Pusateri is their free safety. You say this defense is as quick as you've seen?
Jim, they're not a particularly big defense, but they come at you from a lot of different directions. They're blitzing, very aggressive, very quick. well-coordinated defensive football team.
And I guess the one other thing we should mention, and you told me I better or you would fire me,
well,
this kicking return game, kid named Ryan Robinson returned 3 punts for for touchdowns, #1 in kick returns.
Jim, in the nation. Outstanding. If you think Steve Breston was good for us a year ago, this guy was even more from a statistical standpoint. So every time he gets the football, he's a threat to go the distance. We've got our coverage teams have their work cut out for them.
This game going in, it's an opener. It's tough to prepare for, but you know these guys are good. That's the thing I want to keep telling people. This is not just one of those Mid-American Conference openers where you throw your helmets out there. These guys can play.
Well, there's no question. And I think, Jim, our football team understands that. I think they understand that they have to come out of the gate fast, because this isn't one of those games where you can go out and not play your best and win.
All right, real quickly, there's some rule changes that folks need to see about. I mean, you got replay going, which ought to be a thrill.
It should be interesting, but it is new. The one rule change I think that the fans can look to be a significant change is the fact that on penalties now they're going to call out the number. So, for example, if you were playing and you committed one of your many holding penalties, they're going to call your number, and everybody's going to know that Jim Brandstatter was holding. It's like Jerry Hanlon taught you to do. So that'll be a change. But this instant replay is really going to change, I think, some games. It's not like the NFL. The coach has no input whatsoever, but they will review certain plays.
We'll get to that down the road. In the meantime, join us next week. Michigan versus Miami should be a dandy. That's coming up next week right here on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by The Joy of Pepsi and by Big Boy Restaurants. Big Boy makes you say, oh boy.